Today I'm going to give away a free t-shirt, bring you a Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown fight, reveal the books I bought this week, and, if I screw up, a blooper reel. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone. I'm Victor, and you are watching The Comic Hero Show. Welcome to this week's edition of The Comic Hero Show. I'm your host, Victor Nunley, and I am The Comic Hero. Coming to you for Clint's Comics right here in Monroe, Louisiana. And folks, it's St. Patrick's Day, or as I'm doing the show, it's 2 days before St. Patrick's Day. Shh, don't tell anybody. But anyway, hope you're enjoying your St. Patrick's Day. Of course, I'm wearing green. This is a regular green Comic Hero tee, and I bought this St. Patrick's Day fedora. But anyway, speaking of t-shirts, it's time to give away a free t-shirt. Alright, last week's episode I asked, which country is Alpha Flight from? Well, the correct answer is Canada. And 8 people have answered correctly, and because they've answered correctly, their names have been entering in a drawing, and that takes place right now. So, the winner of the free tee in this week's episode of the show is... Patrick Mills from Lake Providence, Louisiana. Congratulations, Patrick. You win yourself a free Comic Hero tee. All right. Here's a question for next week's episode. What was Doctor Strange's occupation before he became a Sorcerer Supreme? In other words, what was Stephen Strange a doctor of? Everyone who answers correctly will be entered in a drawing for a free tee in next week's episode. Hey everyone. Now this past weekend I went back to Clint's Comics. Then a few days later I went to Books A Million in Monroe. Ended up finding some books. And bought 11 of them, so I'm not going to give a brief description. So here we go. First up is The Flash number 17. Spider-Woman number 9. Spider-Woman number 10. Silk number 10. Dead No More, The Clone Conspiracy Omega. Amazing Spider-Man number 24. Inhumans vs. X-Men number 0. Inhumans vs. X-Men number 1. Inhumans vs. X-Men number 6. Inhumans vs. X-Men number 5. And finally, Inhumans vs. X-Men number 4. Now with those 11, that brings the total number of comics that I bought since December of 1997 to 7,824. Now, Danelle Robinette from Warren, Ohio has requested a Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown fight, and this one features 2 mutants from different publications. I'm sorry, folks. Alright, yeah. 2 mutants going up against each other, but they're from 2 different publishers. Representing IDW, we have Donatello. And representing Marvel, we have Gambit. These 2 are going to duke it out in a segment I like to call...
The Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown.
Welcome to the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Today, it's Donatello versus Gambit. Donatello is highly skilled in ninjutsu and possesses Olympic-level agility, speed, and strength, master of stealth, genius-level intellect, is an expert in various fields of science and engineering, mastery of Bojutsu and Kobudo, and Qigong. He's also a scientist, engineer, inventor, and co-founder of O'Neill Tech. Gambit possesses kinetic energy control and manipulation, foresight via tarot cards, thermal manipulation, accelerating regeneration, transmutation of substances into acid or poison, and disintegration and card imprisonment. Who will win? Get ready for one crazy fight. Donatello realizes that Gambit is no ordinary mutant, so he relies on his ninja skills. Gambit flings an explosive pack of cards at Donatello, but the latter ducks each and every one. Donatello then goes on offense by delivering a series of punches and kicks. He soon has Gambit on the ground. The latter then delivers a cheap shot to Donatello. Gambit then gets back to a vertical base and disintegrates Donatello's bow staff. He then imprisons Donatello in a spare card he kept hidden. You may think the fight is over, but not yet. Like Gambit, Donatello has an ace up his sleeve. In the event that he or his brothers get trapped in a bad spot, he always has a transdimensional portal module on him. He uses it to escape the card and get back into the fight. However, due to having foresight via tarot cards, he knows that Donatello is coming back for more. Donatello tries to attack him while going stealth, but Gambit poisons him with a single touch, and Donatello dies within seconds. Gambit wins, and that concludes this fight on the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown fight. And if you have a fight request for future episodes, contact info is down there. Alright, let's get to the comics I bought this week.
Comic books I bought this week.
Alright, first up is Captain America Steve Rogers number 11. Now this is part 5 of Hail Hydra. And what's been going on in this story arc so far, well, really what's been going on throughout the entire book, is that we see origin stories of Steve Rogers when he was growing up, all the way until he was injected with the super soldier serum. And they're a little altered. Now, what I mean altered is, you have to remember when Kobik, the Cosmic Cube made sentient, had given Steve Rogers back his youth and his super soldier, and the super soldier serum that was in his DNA. She did so, and then changed his entire past, or rather led him to believe that he was an agent of Hydra and has been from the start, even dating back to his mom's involvement with Hydra. And then we see other things. We also see Maria Hill stand trial for her crimes during assault on Pleasant Hill. And I mean, it's just a great book. And speaking of other great books, next up is Captain America Sam Wilson number 18. Now, this is the fallout from his involvement in the story arc after Civil War II entitled "Take Back the Shield," where he's trying to redeem himself as the true Captain America, and as a Captain America, rather, not the true Captain America. We all know that's Steve Rogers, and a lot of folks still don't like him, and he's getting to the point where he's deciding that maybe being a Captain America isn't exactly the right decision to make, or the right thing for him right now. All right, next up is The Flash number 18. This is part 1 of Sins of the Father, where Flash and Wally, now in previous issues, there was a story arc called Rogues Reloaded, where they've had to go up against, well, the Rogues return to Central City, and this time it's no holds barred. Well, the Flash took care of them. And now, with Sins of the Father, I think it has something to do with the Reverse Flash, who's actually Kid Flash's father, Daniel West. Yikes. All right, next up is Superman number 19. This is part 3 of Superman Reborn. Now, in previous issues, well, it started out with Superman number 18, which was part 1 of Superman Reborn. Clark Kent, or should I say Clark Kent, comes to Lois, Clark, and Jonathan's home in Hamilton County, and leaves a package. Inside the package is a photo album of Lois and Clark's life. And next thing you know, some odd flame starts surrounding the entire house, and everything disappears, including her own son, John. And then in part 2, which is Action Comics number 975, we found out that Clark Kent really isn't who he says he is. We find out, of all people, of all Superman's villains that he's ever faced, it was Mxyzptlk. That's right, folks. The imp from the third dimension comes to the New 52 universe. He kidnaps, and he does it because he blames Superman rather, for not saving him when the Reaper had come and briefly imprisoned him. So this is pretty much payback. Payback's a you-know-what. I'll tell you. All right, next up is Batman number 19. This is part 3 of I Am Bane, part 4 of I Am Bane, or should I say, I Am Bane. And it all starts out with Bane kidnapping and torturing Nightwing, Robin, and the Red Hood. And they place them in some kind of chamber, all these chambers at Superman's Fortress of Solitude, in order for them to heal. And of course, you know Batman's going to go after Bane. He knows Bane did it. He's going straight after him, and he knows the reason why. And you know the main reason because he wants to break Batman again. Now keep in mind, the first time he broke Batman, he broke his back. Now he wants to break him mentally. Not only that, he also wants the Psycho Pirate back too. All right, next up is Super Sons number 2. Now this is a book that stars both Robin and Superboy, aka John Kent. And on their first bit of trouble, they go in some kind of building and try to capture something. But then the next thing you know, Lex Luthor in his Superman armor decides to come up, and he's like, "Okay, what are you guys doing here?" And that's pretty much how it ends. All right, next up is Aquaman number 19. Now, folks, I'm still behind on this book. I'm going to try to get caught up as much as I can, but from what this book really got started with Jeff Johns. He has made Aquaman into more of a superhero who can talk to fish. I mean, this guy could kick your butt if you're not careful. I mean, he is destroyed property. He is almost taking folks' lives. I mean, he is a good complete boss. But I'll let you know what happens when I get caught up in future episodes of the show. And then finally, Green Lanterns number 19. This is part 1 of a new story arc. And I think in the last issue, we find out more of the origin story of Volthoom, the First Lantern. We find out that he's actually from a parallel Earth. He's actually from the future in a parallel Earth, and he takes his mother's travel lantern and goes throughout time spreading the word about the emotional spectrum. But then he ends up going to a time in the past where he ends up being infused with the emotional spectrum, and that's how Volthoom ends up now. So Volthoom is actually a human being who just has all the powers of the emotional spectrum. And then a ring was forged, and then Rami, one of the original Guardians of the Universe, had somehow befriended him before he decided to imprison him. And so that's what led to Volthoom switching bodies with Rami. But right now Simon and Jessica don't know that. All right, that's 8 I bought, which brings the total number of comics I bought since December of 1997 to 7,832. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. And here's the question again for a free tea for next week's episode. What is Doctor Strange's occupation before he became the Sorcerer Supreme? In other words, what kind of doctor was he originally? Everyone who answers correctly will be entered in the drawing for a free tea in next week's episode. And congratulations to Patrick Mills from Lake Providence, Louisiana, who won a free tea in this week's episode. All right, it's birthday time here on the show, and I want to wish a happy birthday yesterday to my good friend and from Sibley, Louisiana, Bobby Waters. Happy birthday, Bobby. And also one of my good friends, Rachel Slaughter. And then happy birthday today to one of my friends and a loyal viewer of the show, Katie Calhoun. Happy birthday, Katie. And also a loyal viewer of the show and an agent over at Woodman Life Insurance in Sterlington, Louisiana, Rebecca Chandler. Happy birthday, Rebecca. And also happy birthday tomorrow to one of my longtime friends and another viewer of the show, Jennifer Crochet. All right, well, like I said, I hope you're enjoying. Like I said earlier, I hope you're enjoying your St. Patrick's Day weekend. Remember, if you choose not to wear green, don't blame me if you get pinched a bunch. And if you're gonna go out to drink, make sure you have a designated driver with you. I mean, just saying. I mean, you may laugh at that, but you know it's serious, folks. I mean, if you drink, don't blame me if you wreck. All right, I'm Victor Nunley. I'm the Comic Hero. I'll see you next week for episode 157 right back here at Clint's Comics. So till then, be safe, be blessed, be a hero, and happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone. Hey everyone. Now, this past weekend, I went to both Clint's Comics. Off a dunk! Hey everyone. Now this past weekend I went back to Clint's Comics, and I also went to Second. I didn't go to Second and Charles. Hey everyone. Now this weekend I went back to Today I'm going to give away a free t-shirt, bring you a Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown fight, reveal the books I bought this week, and, if I screw up, a blooper reel. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone. Ah, Blarney! Today I'm going to give away a free t-shirt. Ah!
How y'all doing?
Good, how are you?
In last week's episode, I asked, what country is Alpha Flight from? Well, the correct answer is, and I just bumbled through that. Blarney!
Facebook does do publicity, man.
All right, first up is Captain America Steve Rogers, number 11. Now, this is part 5 of the Hail Hydra story arc. Now, what we've seen so far is we've seen a skewed origin story of Steve Rogers. Now, this is dating back to the very first issue. And then we've also seen Maria Hill stand trial for her involvement in... Blarney!